Listen. That's the sound of the ocean. For most of history, we thought of it as a friend, a highway, a source of food. But on just a handful of days, that same water turned into an enemy so powerful it defied the laws of physics and erased entire cities from the map. We call them tidal waves, but that's a lie. They have nothing to do with the tides. The real name is tsunami harbor wave, and when I tell you about the three that broke the world, you're going to realize that the ground beneath your feet might not be as solid as you think. Let's start with the tallest one, the one that makes every other wave look like a ripple in a bathtub. Alaska, July 9, 1958. A beautiful evening in a place called Lituya Bay. To you and me, it looks like paradise, but geologists call it a loaded gun. This bay is a T-shaped fjord, a crack in the Earth's crust. At 10:15 p.m., a 7.8 magnitude earthquake hits. It's violent, but it's not the quake that kills. It's what the quake triggers, up at the head of the bay. On the steep slope of the Gilbert Glacier, an entire mountainside 90 million tons of rock breaks off. Imagine the biggest skyscraper in New York. Now imagine it snapping off its foundation and dropping 3,000 feet into the water below. The impact created a splash so massive, so concentrated, that the water didn't just flow, it launched. The water surged up the opposite side of the mountain, stripping trees off the rock up to an elevation of 1,720 feet. That is the tallest wave ever recorded in human history. End of story. Nothing else comes close. There were 3 fishing boats anchored there that night. The wave hit them like a wall of concrete. 2 boats were pulverized. Incredibly, 2 people survived. They rode that wave out to the open ocean. But here's the scary part. Lituya Bay was a local event. A freak accident, a splash. But what happens when the entire ocean floor moves? Boxing Day, the day after Christmas, 2004, on the Indonesian island of Sumatra, the Earth's crust had been building pressure for 200 years. It was locked. And at 7:58 a.m., it snapped. A 9.1 magnitude earthquake, the 3rd largest ever recorded. The rupture was 800 miles long. The planet vibrated so hard it actually shifted on its axis. But here's the terrifying part: in the open ocean, the waves this quake generated were traveling at 500 miles per hour, the speed of a jet airliner, with barely a ripple on the surface. No one saw it coming. In the Aceh province of Indonesia, a 7-year-old boy named Martunis was playing football on the beach with his friends. The earthquake had stopped. His family was hugging inside. They thought it was over. They thought the shaking was the danger. Then someone screamed, "The water is rising." The wave wasn't a surf wave. It was a wall of chaotic, dirty water filled with cars, concrete, and trees. It was moving at 30 miles an hour. It traveled 3 miles inland in mere minutes. Martunis was ripped from his mother and sisters. He passed out. When he woke up, he was on a sinking mattress. He grabbed a school bench it sank. He grabbed a coconut, hugging it like a football, until he finally got stuck in a tree, surrounded by water and the bodies of his neighbors. That tsunami didn't just hit Indonesia. It crossed the entire Indian Ocean. It hit Thailand. It hit Sri Lanka. It hit India. It hit Somalia in Africa, thousands of miles away. That boy, Martunis, survived in that tree for 21 days before being found alive. He was one of the lucky ones. By the time the water receded, an estimated 230,000 people were dead. Entire coastlines vanished. It was the deadliest tsunami in history, and it exposed our arrogance. We had no warning system in the Indian Ocean. That disaster forced the world to build one. But just 7 years later, that warning system would face its ultimate test. Japan, 2011. The most tsunami-prepared nation on Earth. They have the highest sea walls, the strictest building codes. They hold drills. They thought they were safe. At 2:46 p.m., a magnitude 9.0 earthquake struck off the coast of Tohoku. It was so powerful, the that it moved the entire island of Honshu 8 feet east and shifted the Earth on its axis by almost 4 inches. The Japanese did exactly what they were trained to do. They survived the quake. They turned on their TVS. The warnings were up. They expected a wave. Maybe 10 feet, maybe 20. But the quake had displaced so much water that the wave, when it formed, wasn't 20 feet. It was 130 feet tall. It didn't just crash over the seawalls, it completely submerged them. Look at that. That is a fully loaded ocean freighter, being tossed around like a bath toy. Entire neighborhoods picked up and ground into dust. But the ocean didn't stop at the city. It kept going. It pushed inland for 6 miles. And it found the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant. That tsunami knocked out the backup generators. The reactors melted down. It became the worst nuclear disaster since Chernobyl, triggered not by a bomb, but by a wave. 18,000 people lost their lives that day. 500,000 were made homeless. The cost? Over $235 billion, making it the most expensive natural disaster in human history. If it could happen to Japan, the country that invented the word tsunami, it can happen anywhere. The 2004 tsunami taught us we need a warning system. The 2011 tsunami taught us that sometimes even the warning isn't enough. The water moves faster than fear. From the freakish 1,700-foot splash in Alaska to the 100-foot walls of Lisbon in 1755 that killed 60,000, to the modern megacities we saw today. These waves are a reminder that we are just guests on this planet. So, here is your takeaway. If you are ever on the coast and the ground shakes ... don't wait, don't film it. If the water pulls back from the shore, exposing the reef, run. Don't run for your car. Run for the highest ground you can find. Because in that moment, you are running against time itself. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you in the next one.